Well, a long-time local program with those with autism is struggling to meet the growing demands for its services. Running for over 3 decades, since 1984, the Bruce Awad Summer Program for people with autism has been helping families find structure and rest during 6 weeks between July and August. With just months to go until the 2018 program kicks off, staff have been sifting through applications and making the tough decision to address the number of children and teens on the wait list to access the program.
Over the years, more and more kids came along with a diagnosis of autism. And, for this small agency compared to the bigger agencies, that's difficult to deal with. And every year, over those years, there's always been a waiting list of children wanting the program because there's nothing during the summer without this program.
Founder Bruce Awad started the program out of necessity for his daughter with autism during the 1980s. Bruce was able to fundraise and lobby both the provincial and federal government for funding, but as the number of children with autism grew in Windsor Essex over the decades, so did the need for the program. Funding only goes so far, but for that period of waiting, it means plenty of sacrifice from caregivers and families to attend to their special needs children. That's something that Awad knows all too well.
It's difficult, and it's heartbreaking sometimes, too, to see these families waiting and thinking about what they're doing during those summer months. It's definitely a strain on the family. Fortunately, my wife, who's the catalyst in our family and gave up her working career. This is what happens sometimes. We talk about this to this day after 42 years of our daughter's 42 years old. It's been 42 years. My wife gave up her career and stayed home to raise the kids. Not a common thing these days, but that's the price you pay.
Organizers say a high staff-to-student ratio, that's necessary to make the program successful, but it's also very costly. Over the past 10 years, there's been a minimum of 12 children on the wait list, with some children staying on that same list for 3 to 4 years. For many kids, the summer months means a time of fun and relaxation. For children with autism and their families, 2 months can literally mean a lifetime. And that's a reality that Claudia Rubio must face with her son Amari, 7 years old and on the autism spectrum. She talked to me about the challenges of raising Amari and the need for structure and routine for his own learning.
This summer, I'm hoping he gets in, but if he doesn't, I'm not sure what we're going to do because he does thrive on that structure and routine, and the camp can provide that. So I'm really hoping he gets in. He can't communicate on his own, and he still needs a lot of direction. He's only 7, so he does have a lot of years to grow, but I don't know if he's ever going to be able to live on his own or, drive a car, or if I'm hoping he'll make some meaningful relationships, but I don't know if he's ever going to be, married or have kids, or I don't know if he's going to live with me for the rest of my life. I'd be okay with it, but at this point, I'm just not sure. I'm just taking it day by day.
A wait list for this summer will be released in the spring, but the board expects the program to be full again. That's creating some anxiety for Rubio as she waits to hear about Amari. Families who do get into the program say it is a blessing. Kevin Locking has twins, Matthew and Abby. Now, Abby was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, something the family has struggled with. The constant supervision and the sacrifice needed to care for a child with autism can be exhausting for caregivers. Locking says he's grateful for the break the summer program provides and is urging families who are wanting to get into that program to hang in there.
I tell them to keep holding on. At this point you really don't have much to do but keep hoping. Maybe some way, somewhere, somebody might be able to find a way to make this program bigger. So then, there's more people that can come into this for their child. And the learning in the summer for these children is just as crucial as school because they learn all year. So when school comes, they haven't had that 2-month layoff of doing nothing or just being kept busy by their parents. They're actually learning things as well. And then when they go back to school, nothing has changed. So it's a great idea.
And for mothers like Claudia Rubio, waiting is the hardest part. When interviewing and connecting with these families in this story and meeting and watching Amari, that really resonated with me. My younger brother, Adam, is on the autism spectrum, and he needs help with most activities that you and I take for granted, along with severe communication and behavioral challenges. And what I've learned from Adam's experience is that it won't be an easy road ahead for Amari and his family as they cling to hope that there will be a spot for him this summer. Just how many people here in Windsor, Essex, in this community are affected by autism? We wanted to take a closer look at this evening. There are approximately 3,200 people on the autism spectrum in Windsor, Essex, according to Autism Services. Province-wide, 1 in 68 here in Ontario are autistic or on the spectrum itself. Now, we received plenty of comments from people on this story today on our social media accounts. Let's take a look at a few of those. Jennifer starts things off saying, "Arms, it just never ends. My 2 kids with autism are 14 and 23 months. Nothing has changed in 14 years to help us as parents. I'm starting to feel drained out, and I'm only 37 years old. I still have a lifetime ahead of this." Tina says, "We are an autism family, and we chose to open a business so we wouldn't have to depend on government services and the wait. We're hoping that this is going to help us." And Richard on Instagram says, "As a parent, I can't imagine what these parents are going through with autistic kids. Very informative, and it's nice to see stories like this bring out awareness to the general public." You can have your say on the stories of today. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.